Doom. April 2nd, 2011. What is up? This is Daily Doom number 8. Here we go. So what we're going to talk about today, it's real interesting. I've discovered this, the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, obviously based in Kentucky. I don't know if you've ever been to Kentucky or not, but I don't think it's a big hotbed of terrorism. Haven't heard of a lot of terroristic things going on in Kentucky. Heard a lot of rednecky shit going down over there in Kentucky. Not a lot of terroristic stuff here, but so let's take a look at this. Let's Google Homeland Security. They got a new iPhone app coming out for a Kentucky fusion center of the Homeland Security. And so it's really interesting to see, how they're going to be using technology and what's going on with this to sort of create a nation of snitchers and a nation of snitches. Snitchers and snitches are stitches or bitches. They get stitches or whatever, right? So anyway, so do a Google search for this, and here's the app. And I have an addendum video that I'm going to add with this that where I went in and actually looked and saw on my iPhone. And so, this app is not a joke. It's not an April Fool's joke. This is a real thing. So, reporting suspicious behavior, there's a Homeland Security app for that. So here it is. So basically you can say, here's where this happened. Here's what happened, the suspicious activity. Here's my first name, last name, my description, the height of the person I saw, the weight approximately. It was a dude. Hair, whatever. So then you can click on over. You can say, hey, it was a vehicle. It was a 2000-ish Mini Cooper. Blah, blah, blah. Look at that. Very interesting how that all works. So, so Homeland Security. So they have it on a few different pages here talking about this. But so I went to their webpage, their Homeland Security, their All Eyes on Kentucky thing. And I actually found a PowerPoint presentation. So this is what they're going after. And I want to show you this before I actually get into this, how you can find stuff like this. I'm going to go back to Google here. If you actually go on Google and you do something like file type :PDF, then you can actually find stuff on this all over the place. So let's just say Homeland Security. This is a great searching trick that you might find beneficial. So now what we'll do is we'll be able to see all kinds of articles from Homeland Security. So maybe I want to see, well, what are some of their articles that they have on dhs.gov. If you wanted to go see what they had, you can do something like this, site dhs.gov, and we'll click this, and we're going to find all PDFs that are located on dhs.gov. You can do that on any site you want to do it on. But it's interesting, you can always find some really good information that way. So I found this PowerPoint online using that technique, and so basically it's an anonymous, this year's on Kentucky, anonymous telephone tip line enabling anyone to support or to report suspicious activity that logically poses a threat to individuals, community, or the Commonwealth of Kentucky. In principle, this sounds like a logical thing to do. Oh yeah, there's something that sounds like that. But in reality, it seems to me like this is going to start creating, snitchers, people who are tattling on everybody and getting people in trouble for things that may or may not, even be something they need to be worrying about. So this could be a foggy thing that I think might be worth taking a look at. So these are fusion centers. If you're not familiar with what a fusion center is, these things are basically outside of any jurisdiction. These guys are basically their own entity. They don't answer really to anyone. There's no overseeing agency in charge of these Homeland Security fusion centers. They're pretty much their own rogue outfit, and it's really interesting that, you know what I mean? I'm all about safety and being, making sure terrorists aren't getting us, but we need to make sure that the power doesn't corrupt within our own country, because, absolute power corrupts absolutely, they say, right? And so you get these people in charge of sitting here and monitoring. Look at these people. These people are just watching stuff all day long. They're watching roads. They're watching insides of buildings. They got screens all over the place here. This is insane when you look at that. And that they're showing it. This is an actual fusion center. This is what it looks like inside there. So here's what we do. We contact them. They forward the information. They send it to a data specialist. They check it out. We're helping our state as a primary mission of the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security. That's what it is. It's part of the permanent military armament industry that Dwight D. Eisenhower talked about. So yeah, it's going to discourage criminals and hamper their routines and make things more difficult and arrest a lot of people. What is suspicious? Human action reasonably indicating the possibility of an immediate or future unsafe event. It also can be the detection of something irregular within an area, which appears out of place or potentially dangerous if not investigated professionally. So look at this. Oh, there's an unfamiliar vehicle. We better call that. Oh, there's some strange odors. Oh, my neighbor might be smoking weed. They're suspicious. They're probably drug dealers. Someone loitering around parks or secluded areas. Yeah, because we're going to blow up. Oh, yeah, somebody loitering around a park. Right, so yeah, so you can't be hanging out in parks. You might be loitering. If someone's exhibiting unusual interest in building security. How about this? Let's see if there's anything that talks about if there's anybody near a nuclear plant. Because it seems to me nuclear plants aren't too secure. It seems to me nuclear facilities are infinitely more hazardous. All right. KOHS promotes personal liberties. We intend to improve vigilance and alertness and balancing protection of individuals. You know, if that's their real intent, you know, God bless them. But, you know, a lot of times what happens is these people just start monitoring things and keeping dibs on people. Suicide bomber. Yeah, you got to watch out for the bombing kitty. Because the kitty is a bombing kitty, and kitties do not like to play. This is Jihad Kitty. So we got to watch out for that. So anyways, that's some of the stuff that I found today. I found that really interesting. Following up this with the video that I actually found online, or actually that I just videotaped with my webcam. But enjoy that. This is Daily Doom. Thanks again for paying attention, and we'll see you with our iPhones. And if I see any of you guys who pay attention to the Daily Doom, I'm going to report you as suspicious activity, because watching a video called the Daily Doom, that means you're probably a rebel of the Rebel Alliance, and they don't like that over there at the Empire. So you better watch out for some stormtroopers, because they might be coming your way. All right, much love, everybody. Again, keep love in your heart. Be kind to one another. Share love. Be love. Let your light grow and let your light shine, and be, one. We're all one part of this whole big one consciousness of humanity and the universe. It's all connected, man. Protons, neutrons, electrons, gluons, and quarks. We all came from the core of a star, from an exploding supernova. Once you realize that everything is part of the same thing, nothing's better than anything else. So you guys who are in charge, you guys who are part of the powers that be, elevate your thinking and realize that we're all part of the same thing. You're not better than anybody else. There's no need for you to try to control. You have as much money as you need. Love us. We're part of this whole community, man. You don't have to be one of those guys who's a stormtrooper for the freaking Illuminati or the powers that be. You don't need to be a stormtrooper. Okay? Don't be a stormtrooper. Don't be a Gestapo, right? Look at this. Don't be a TSA Nazi. If you see something, say something. Heil Janet, the Palatano, right? You know what I'm saying? Snitches get stitches for being punk bitches, right? We don't want to be punk bitches, okay? Let's live with love in our hearts. Let's not go there, okay? The bankers, you've been in control of stuff for so long. You don't need any more control, okay? Let us be, what would happen if you let us be and actually gave us healthy food, encouraged healthy living, right? Actually encouraged us to be all that we could be, instead of being drones and being, fodder, and being slaves to the Federal Reserve Bank, sending our sons and brothers over to fight wars for resources that don't matter, right? Nikola Tesla invented free electricity over 100 years ago. But you guys want to control us by making us pay monthly for something that could be free, because you want to be in control. You don't have to be in control. We're pretty good about handling our own business. And if we weren't intentionally dumbed down, we could probably become one of the best civilizations in the history of the universe. But instead, we're going to stay a type 0 civilization and not make that bump up to the type 1 civilization, where we can actually move on and be with love. That's what we want. We want to move on, get past consumerism, get more towards love, right? We can't have this. We can't have this. We're changing. We are changing the paradigm, okay? No longer are we going to be slaves. We are free beings. And you know what? A lot of us might get extinguished for whatever means. But here's what's going to happen. We're going to rise above. Energy never dies. So our energy will be transferred into the other realm. And, you can control this for a little bit. But what is that? We don't want that. You don't want to be that. You want to be a loving, caring person. You've probably been brainwashed your whole life by your elders who were brainwashed by their elders. And you don't have to buy into that system anymore because we as a civilization are evolving. This is the great awareness time for all of us. And so I don't like the way that you're going about this, powers that be. You need to change. You need to flip the switch. We are capable of being in charge of ourselves. If it doesn't affect anybody but ourselves, let us make that decision. Let us get off of oil. Let us legalize hemp and use hemp as fuel for vehicles and use hemp for everything that can be used for recycling purposes. Get off of this control mechanism that is so ingrained in this society because it is not working, okay? We are winning, okay? We are going to win, regardless if we get wiped out from whatever, stuff you pull. We are winning because we have love. And we are evolving our souls, and we're moving on down the road. This existence is not reality. It's a perceived reality. So open up your eyes. We don't have to go down this path. All right? Much love, everyone. All right, I wanted to double check to make sure this was not an April Fool's joke because it is April 1st. So if you actually look at this thing here, eyes and ears on Kentucky. I know it's not the perfect view, but this is a webcam on an iPhone. So Kentuckians, use your iPhones to submit real-time tips to the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security. If you see any suspicious criminal threat or terrorist activity, you can choose whether or not to submit a tip anonymously. Yeah, and I'm sure it's completely anonymous since, they don't have your iPhone number or any other information they could probably get from Apple or whatever. Just kind of stuff like this, kind of weird. Oh, yeah, what happened? Oh, there was a crazy incident here, and here's the incident, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to edit the vehicle, and there's all that information here. And so, here's the source, where it came from. We're going to remain anonymous. We're going to submit a report. So can you just imagine how this thing can go? So he can say, yeah, I'm gonna some suspicious activity of my ex-girlfriend. She's over here hanging out, smoking some pot with some friends, probably. That's just... Be a true American. Narc on your friends. Be an American.
Doom.